online people who are watching us, and welcome to all of you who have come out this wonderful day to greet us in the chapel. Say, God loves you, so do we, and greet your neighbor and tell them that you're glad that they're here. Bye.
Nice to see you. Is that dry operated? You don't need to plug anything in?
Not what we graduated.
Well, we just stand for the opening prayer. Thank you so much. Heavenly Father, we are so pleased that we are risen from the beds this morning and are alive and well, that we can come and share our communion and our fellowship with each other. We ask that the pure energy of love come through us and be projected to each person that we meet as we go our way. Amen. There you go. Be seated. Well, I was supposed to have a chairperson this morning, and I think she's either slept in or got caught in traffic, because she does have to come all the way from Richmond. So if my knit Lynn White manages to get here, she'll come scooting up and will be the chairperson. So in the meantime, I'd just like to say a real praise for all the people that do help us. Lynn and Derrick, who are two of our knits, and Maureen, who's another one. Maureen and Derrick, I believe, are both having well-earned vacations. Well, I think Derrick's having a working vacation, but he's having vacation from the church. And so basically I had Lynn going to come in and be chair, so it's me. I'm going to chair for myself, I guess. And we'd like to thank all the volunteers that come out, and really like people like Winston who bring flowers and things like that help decorate, and to Teresa who comes and helps us with the kitchen, and all the people that keep us going. I'd like to thank all of them. And especially our Ministry of Music, and we have Celia Collin, and we just can't do without our music and ministry, I'll tell you. And we are so fortunate. We've got really good people here. So this is what we're talking about now, is that we have an AGM. It's our first annual general meeting is going to be held. You will be notified if you're a member by mail of when it's held and where it will be held, but we will have announcements. It will be in May, and we will have announcements. We'd like people who are not members even to come and join it. Give us some input about what you find good about the chapel, things you'd like maybe us to change about the chapel, and certainly be a participant. If you're not a member, it isn't that difficult to join. Just talk to us at the table, and you can become a member, and then you have maybe even a little bit more say, and maybe get a little discount occasionally on some of the workshops and seminars that we'll be doing. So that would be good. So that'll be in May. So we'll notify you on that. And in the meantime, if we'd like to go to song number 10, The Greatest Thing.
No, 17. Number 17.
Oh, sorry.
17.
Number 17. See? I always have to have something go awry here.
You
we've been in the gym. That's beautiful. Thank you. Well, here we are. I'm going to be chairperson and talk about myself, and then I'm going to talk to you. And basically, you all know who I am. I'm Reverend Barb Leonard. I have been around in the spiritualist church since the early 70s, and before that had been very much involved in spiritual work, and with the end of it is to do with the intuitiveness. I guess I was about 17 years old when I had the first opportunity to meet someone who had the ability to be able to tune into other people. So that was really wonderful. I met this wonderful mentor. And it started with teacup reading, if you can believe that. And I was about 17, and this lady used to do teacup reading for us after her job was over at the theater. And when we would go in and have coffee with her when we were just starting our job at the theater. So she would read our teacups, and sometimes she'd just place her hand over the teacup and she'd tell us all these great, marvelous things. And like a lot of you out there, I had a real curious mind. And I would go home, and of course in those days you'd have to be almost as old as I am to remember that we used to mostly have tea made with loose tea. And so at home we used loose tea. And my cousin would drink her tea, my aunt would drink her tea, and my cousin's friends would come and they'd drink tea, and they'd hand me their cup, and I would start to read. And I would pick up these energies, these symbols in the cup. So I would run gaily back to my friend Mabel, and I would say, Mabel, what does this mean? What does that mean? What does the other thing mean? And eventually, you know what I found out? I found out it meant what it was supposed to mean to me. That's what it was supposed to mean. Because the symbol that I see in there, although there are a lot of times that I can't turn the cup around and let somebody look at it, and I can actually show them where I'm getting that energy from, or where that symbol is, and they can see it once I pointed it out. They can see it kind of like you would an ink blot. Okay? So I would finally learn that I would be able to look at whatever it was and be able to interpret it. Now, I'm not connecting to the fact that this was coming from God, that it was part of my intuitive abilities that were built into me. It's part of an expansion of my senses, of my awareness. And I didn't realize that that's what it was. But however, it was great fun, you can imagine, at 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, to be able to do this type of thing. So eventually, as I said, I would look at the symbol, and next thing you know, I'd be saying what the symbol I felt meant to me. And like a cat might mean warm and fuzzy to somebody, and to somebody else it might mean, kind of a manipulating little animal that gets its own way. It just depends on what it means to the person. So all of a sudden, though, I would say things that were coming out of my mouth that weren't in the symbol itself, or would add to the symbol. So I realized it was coming from somewhere other than myself. And so as time went on, I wrestled back and forth because I was very much involved in a more orthodox religion. And I wrestled with the fact whether or not working with these energies, these knowings, whether it was coming by way of putting your hand on something that somebody held before in a psychometry, or whether it was talking to you as I am right now, and at the end of the service we will do mediumship, and whether it was that, it didn't really matter what the medium that I was using, it was still coming from a source greater than myself. Because there was no way that I could possibly know the things that I was projecting in a lot of cases for people. So through that, I kept thinking to myself, now, a lot of people say this is working with the devil. Okay? So one friend of mine said to me one time, very spiritual girl, Roman Catholic girl, she said to me, do you ever worry that you're working with the devil? I said, no, because here's my theory on this. If I am using it for the highest and best of myself, because if you are working with it for a negative reason, then you're working with the negative side. But if you are working with it to help people, and say over a period of my life that I helped 1,000 people. And I am not modest to say, that's probably been a lot more than that over the years that I've been working. But where would the payoff be for the negative side of the energy to get my spirit or my soul, and yet, we've brought like hundreds of thousands of people to God. So that didn't make any sense to me. So I said, I think it depends on how you use this energy. Now, as I got along, I found out that it's really nice, isn't it, to come here on a Sunday and for the medium to say something to you and say, oh, I'd like to come to you, I'd like to come to you. You get all excited, you get a call from your great aunt or your mother or your grandmother or whatever. And that's exciting, because I'd be excited if I got a phone call from my friend back east. I got home today and I get a phone call from my friend back east. I'd be very excited. However, it started to dawn on me as I got older and more matured that there has to be something more that this is for. And what I realized that it's for your spiritual development to be able to come and tune in to that higher energy and be able to turn to that and get information that maybe gives you a little insight down the line. A little more insight into what you want. Now, really, how does that help our life? How does that help our life? Well, I'll tell you how it helps our life. God has a dream for you. Many dreams, actually, throughout your life. But at this moment, there is a dream. A passion that God has in your heart. That you could be going out there and accomplishing. And by using this meditation, this going within, this prayer, this quiet time, you can listen to God talk to you about what it is that He has for you. What that energy out there has as a thought that is going to create in your life that special purpose that you're here for. So I learned that if I had a passion within me, that all I needed to do is to recognize whether that passion was serving a purpose in some way. Not just greed, but need. And I got that from young Dr. Schuller this morning. He said, there's greed and there's need. And God always supplies the need that we have. And I was talking to Teresa in the kitchen about that. We were saying that we've been very fortunate because, bad things sometimes do happen to good people, and sometimes we make errors of judgment, or things happen and we have to start over again. Maybe that starting over is in an emotional relationship. Maybe it's in a financial relationship. But everything that has happened to you has been a tool for you to carve a great future for yourself. So where we are right here today, we cannot change 1 second of the past, but we can certainly use that to benefit ourselves going forward. But at this moment, God has in your heart a passion for something. And if He does not have a passion for something in your heart, it's because you are not opening yourself to that passion. Because I will tell you something right now, that if you have a passion, you have a purpose, a meaningful reason to survive, it doesn't matter what happens to you, you will survive anything that has happened to you in your life. There's a Dr. Viktor Frankl is a better pronunciation, I guess. And he wrote a book that originally was called Logotherapy. And on logotherapy says, give a person a reason for their existence and they will survive anything. And he watched that in the concentration camps. So if we're going through tough times, which we all are going to do at one time or another, because that's our learning ground. That's where we learn about things. You're going through tough times. Take a look at what is your passion. What can you do today to start yourself down the road that is going to get you to the passion and allow you to be all that you can be? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do today most definitely, I have to recognize that if I'm going to do something that I have a passion for, I'm going to have to invest 3 things. Because I live in a physical world, I'm going to have to invest time, energy, and money. In anything that I want to produce, even if it is my spiritual development. Many people that are sitting here today have gone to courses that have cost them a great deal of money. They invested that money. They invested the time to go there. And they invested the energy of getting enthusiastic when they did that. But what it does on the long-term basis, it reaps a harvest multiplied, multiplied, multiplied. As a corn seed, one corn seed reaps a harvest of 500 to 600 kernels of corn. One investment in your dream will multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply. So whatever that dream is, that has nothing to do with anybody else. What is your dream? What is your dream? What do you really most want to do at this point in your life? Now, we may not be able to do it all at one time. When we were deciding that we were going to open the chapel here, you know, somewhere along the line, we're seeing visions for this where our young ministers that are in training now are going to come up, and that is going to expand out just like we're a hub of a wheel, and each of them are spokes reaching out, and it's going to touch many, many lives. We may not see it in the beginning. We are the seed of that. We're starting that. We are the one seed. And if I don't have the time, energy, and money to put a whole crop in the farm, then I might have to start on my patio with where I am, with what I have. Now, anybody who has read the book that I wrote, I believe it's in both the books, but don't stand there sucking your thumb because you got gold tongues on the end of your fingertips. I relate the fact that at 61 and 64 respectively, I and Ozzy, so I should put it the other way around, 64 and 61, Ozzy and I, completely were wiped out of every bit of money that we had. And there's other people here who can relate to that. We had to come back down with $100,000 worth of debt and pull our socks up and not suck our thumb and cry about what we've lost, but get the smallest seed that we could in the ground, wherever that was, wherever we could get the help and the ground to put it in. That made me doing what I didn't want to do it. And what we didn't want to do is to see my husband go back on a courier where he nearly had a nervous breakdown at one time, and he finally got off of it for 3 years and had to come back down and go back into courier. And we didn't really want that. But you know what? We needed to do that. And that need and accepting what God gave us, give him an opportunity to go and be a courier again. And if anybody has done any courier work, it's upstairs, downstairs, in the truck, out of the truck, upstairs, downstairs. And we're talking, you know, he's not a kid. It did him well, actually. It kept him in really good shape. He could still run across the road and up a flight of stairs and down a flight of stairs when he was 71 and he was still out there doing it. But what it did do for us is it did start the seed, the one seed. And that one seed multiplied so that we had the 600 seeds and we got more ground to put it in. And eventually, after 6 years, we got to start again, got into our first home that we owned of our own again, and from there have come nothing but up. Now, he's not still working on the courier, thank God, because we have the faith to invest the time, energy, and money in there. The same thing with the chapel. We've invested it in there. We have great people that are coming out here, and the chapel is surviving week to week, week to week, week to week, paying its bills and availing itself here. And we're getting wonderful response from wonderful speakers that come out here and speak on different Sundays. People that you would never have thought Like Ted Coons, for instance, the first time I called Ted Coons, I thought he's going to think I'm a wild woman. What do I think I'm going to ask this man who speaks all over the world to come and speak for a function that I have? But he did, and he's come a number of times here. The fellow from the island that came over, Paul Elder. He teaches down in West Virginia at a big institute down there. But he comes to our chapel because it's our dream to have him come. Somehow or other, God in His great wonder, and His angels on both sides seem to influence the people so they'll come. And we still have people come in here every week. Sometimes it's a lower amount of people because we have some on holidays or some are ill or whatever the case may be. Other times we will be up as high as 60 some odd. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are here, as they say, you build it, they'll come. God said, build it, and they will come. And this is exactly what we did. We had the good fortune of being really close friends with Gloria Martins for many, many years. And when they decided to step from the chapel, we put our bid in to come in and try to keep the congregation a place to come. And many of those people have continued to come with us. And we thank you. We bless you for that. So you have to have the faith. You have to have the faith in that if God gives you a dream, you know, He didn't give you a dream that's too big for you. Why would you sit at home and say to yourself, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'm smart enough to do that. If God has laid it upon your heart to do it, then step out and do it. Because you're the right person. You're the person who was meant to do that. But be willing to put the time, energy, and money in. Be willing to work with the one seed until it comes to, you know, a seed leaf. And then water it and tend it and keep the weeds away from it. All those things that people say, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind going back to school at 36 years old? Or 51 years old? Or 55 years old? No, I'm not out of my mind. I just want to follow the dream. We may not understand everybody's dream, but, you know, we really should encourage that. And you share your dream with people, share with the people the enthusiasm, the wonderful thing about it. But if they start being the weeds that come up with the negativity choking off your little plan, move yourself nicely away from that. Don't share with them again, because all they're going to do is keep being like Eeyore, you know. So please, don't share it with them, because it's just going to make you feel bad. And they're going, oh, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Well, God knows what I'm doing. And I will get help from that. So I'll leave you with that. Think about it today. What has God put on your heart to do? What is the one thing that maybe you never did that you still want to do? You were here this morning when you got up. You weren't in the obituary, neither was I. So that in itself says you've got some life. So get out there and do something with it. God bless you. We are a healing ministry, which you well know. And we have an area at the back there where people can go and sit, and we have healing facilitators that will help you. I may have to call on a few extra facilitators that normally don't work if they would help us out. And we have a facilitator that needs some help there because her back kind of got a little kink in it that didn't come out yet. I think that happens, so we're sending you lots of healing. We have a healing bowl back there. Put the person's name in there. Just need the first name. Don't need their condition. Just have the prayer, which will go with our facilitators. Each day as they're praying, they will keep their concentration on that bowl. And so the rest of the people just relax and let the energy come through you, heal yourself, and then send it to everybody else. thoughts inward and upward to a little spot in the universe where God resides and healing begins. Allow the energy to move through the tips of your toes, moving upwards, swirling around and round the body, and allow it to come up through the top of the head and flow to the body like a gentle summer rain. As you breathe in again, feel the energy bringing alive all the cells in the body that work together with all of the organs. And allow those organs to be like a wonderful symphony concert orchestra that played their instruments independently, but they play with such harmony and such rhythm that they are working for the whole beauty of the piece they are playing. And as you breathe the energy in and revitalize all of the energies in the body, in the cells, and the organs, know that you are doing that to bring healing to the whole. And as the energy comes in again through the tips of the toes, allow it to expand into the mind. Let the mind open and be receptive. Let the mind be positive and be healthy, so that it may touch the dreams, the ideas that God has to make you all that you can be. Allow those dreams, those thoughts, those energies to come through the mind to healthy growth, so that they will grow and produce the dream that God has for you. Breathing in again, allow yourself to come in touch with the Spirit, that part of yourself that is always perfect. And allow the Spirit to communicate to the mind and the body what it needs for this journey that it is having in this physical existence. And as you have healed your own self, body, mind, and spirit, be like a pebble in a great pond of energy, and allow your energy to move forward and ripple outward, and let it touch each member in the room. And joining together, allowing the energy to draw through everyone to facilitate the healing. Taking a deep breath now, think about outside of this room, into the community of your family, the community around you, of your teachers and your leaders, and allow that energy to ripple out and touch all of them, so that they too may experience the wonderful healing, the wonderful peace. Allow that energy now to go forward into the world, and not only touch the world's leaders, but to touch the animals, the vegetation, the waters, the atmosphere, so that they may be healed. And let us be thankful to the animals and the vegetation and the minerals that give of themselves and serve us so greatly and feed us so well. Allow us now to reach out into the universe, into other parts of the universe that we are not familiar with, for many mansions in God's world that we are not aware of every room and every mansion. But we send love and we send caring, for God promises us that love and healing is never ending. And all we need to do is ask, and the energy will follow the intention of the thought, and the healing will begin. Now, as we circle back to the seat of the soul, take a few moments just to sit quietly before you come back to your everyday, workaday world, to enjoy the tranquility and the peace of the healing area of your garden, the inner garden of healing. And know that you may visit here at any time, and God has promised the love and the healing is never ending. So open your hearts, your mind in your hand. God bless you, and He sends His angels to keep after you. Facilitators from this side and the angels from the other side for bringing the healing through to us, and we do thank the Creator God, of course, for that energy that we are able to send it on the power of intent, the place that we want it to go. And so I will tell you, this might be a small congregation this morning, but the energy and that healing was really strong. So Amber, I think you're going to be dancing next week.
I keep hoping. I really want to get ready.
Yeah, I think you'll be up dancing again. Get ready there, Winston, because she's going to be taking you to the dance pretty soon again. Well, I guess we're at that part that is kind of the fun part. We're at the part of the service that we talk about the announcements that are going on. And we are having some fun things going on. We've got one of the biggest things that we've been talking about, getting closer and closer and closer, is the bazaar on the 17th of May. So please, we're going to start bringing flyers in next week. We'd like you to take a handful of them home, give them to all your friends, family, give them to especially people that have children, because we're going to have a great amount of entertainment that is going to be for children of all ages, actually, but especially for the young children who get a chance to come to and join into the community. So that'll really be wonderful. And that's on May 17th, and that'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, if you have any goods that you want to donate to the jumbo sale table will go to the benefit of the chapel, and we've had some stuff coming in. We also have a coordinator that's working with our auction. We've got a silent auction. Some really neat stuff coming up on the silent auction, but you have to come and take a look at it and put your bid in the day of the fair. So we'll be looking forward to that. If you're a good baker, would you please also help out with maybe the bake table? We have some people that are going to set tables up. I've pretty much got most of them already spoken for, but if you do a craft or you do have somebody who does do crafts or art, have them contact us pretty quick so that we'll have a table set for them. The tea room, of course, will be kind of the fun thing. There'll be little tea readings. I was talking in the address that's what I first started working with, being able to communicate with the energy outside of myself, was with tea leaves. And it is a fun thing to do. So for fun and enjoyment, we're going to have a little tea room, and you can get a little tea reading done. We're also going to have a few of the good mediums that are going to come out, and we're going to do a demonstration to the audience that's here. So we'll put out some chairs, and we can sit up, and we can give demonstrations. I must say, though, there will be no readings or demonstrations given to anybody under the age of 19. Because it is supposed to be a fun and enjoyment thing, but legitimately, children under, or people under the age of 19 aren't really of the age to consent to do something like that. So it is for fun and enjoyment of everybody coming out. So please come out and help us with that. I think you'll really enjoy it. Again, I'd like to say that we are going to have the annual general meeting. Try to keep in touch with us on that. I really would like some input from the people that have been here. We've been here almost a year. It will be a year on the 3rd of June that we've been here. So we would like some input from the people about what they would like in the chapel, if there's speakers that they'd like to recommend, or they want changed in some way, that they're not really comfortable with something, let us know, and we will see what we can do. No guarantees, but we will attempt to do the best to make everybody happy here. And now I would like to know if we have any new people here today. Oh, well, we haven't anybody new, but welcome to all of you. And what about birthdays or anniversaries? Do you have anybody with a birthday or an anniversary? Somebody's checking their watch there. Does that mean that we have one this coming week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one this coming week. Well, happy anniversary or happy birthday? Birthday. Ozzy calls it anniversary. But she's also going to do the Sunday on the 18th, and that's going to be where she goes down in the congregation and sings along, and it's called singing and talking with heaven, and she gives you messages between her songs, and it's just a fun time. Last time we had it, nobody wanted to go home, so come out for that for sure, and that definitely. And now, if we could, I did forget to mention that Reverend Jeannie Martin will be on next week. And everybody really loves to see Jeannie when she comes. So do come out to see Jeannie. Now we're going to wait upon your offering. This is the part where you get a chance to share with the chapel and help us in good state with the mortgage company here, or rental. Okay, number 21. Everybody want to join in on that? Father, we thank you for the gifts that are given so freely from this congregation. We ask that you guide those of us who are in charge to administer this money to the highest and best use of the chapel and for the congregation. There we go. Boy, I'm like a one-armed paper hanger today, aren't I? This is pretty good. This is a fun part again coming up now. And so what we're going to do is come to the congregation and give a few communications, we hope, from Spirit. And if you do not want a message, this does make it a little different than the other churches. And we do talk to friends of ours and relatives of ours that are in Spirit. And if you do not want a message, just say no thank you when I come to you. But if you'd like a message, just say, yes, thank you. Or God bless you, or whatever you want to say, but just speak up and say thank you. Okay? Lady, and I'd like to come to the lady, the blonde lady on the end. Hi. Yeah. It's really a good energy that I've got coming in around you right now. And what I'm seeing is there's a lady in Spirit, and I would say probably grandmother on the mother's side. Okay? And she was built not much differently than what you are. Do you understand? You favor her very much. And she's very excited as she's coming in because what she's saying, I just love her to know that I'm around her and that I'm encouraging her to make those steps that she's been dreaming about doing. And she's going to be there to encourage you. She just loves you to bits. And we had this beautiful basket of flowers brought here, and she is giving you much the same thing, laying on your lap, almost borrowed Winston's flowers to place on your lap, and said all of the colors that are there, like the colors of the rainbow, and that expresses what comes out from inside of you. You are a joy to behold, and that you should be sharing that with people. Do you understand that? Good, God bless. And say a word to her, say, I know you're there. Okay? God bless you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Amber. I was kidding maybe that you'd be dancing next week, but they're saying it's not really going to be all that long. It is a case of it being very tight. Now, this may surprise you to some degree, and maybe not. Like I'm getting in just an energy around me, so I'm not seeing who it is, but they say it may surprise you to know that this isn't necessarily a physical manifestation of something physical. This is something that has been emotional. Okay, and it's just kind of the tail end of something that you have to let go of, is what they're saying. So just let go and let God deal with it. The way things have worked out, the way they're supposed to have worked out, and you're not supposed to be holding on to I should have, could have, would have, whatever. And that might be a little bit of what's going on there. It's a little bit of kind of almost the body reacting to you feeling a little bit uneasy about some things there. Things happen the way they were supposed to happen, so don't allow yourself to get into that. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised that you, Winston, will be doing the jig pretty soon again. Winston is our best dancer when we have the dance, right?
It's funny you said let go and let God, because I thought of that this week with my sister.
Did you?
Yeah, she should let go and let God to do with her lost dog because she's making herself sick.
Yeah.
So they always say you say something when you need to hear it.
That's true. That's true. I can tell you so many times that when I've been counseling and I've had somebody sitting across from me, that I hear my own words that are coming through me because they're not really my words, they're words coming from Spirit. But I can hear it echoing in my head saying, Barb, are you listening? It is really funny because a lot of times when I was working full time in the spiritual communications, I would have people come in and it would seem like they were coming in with a similar problem that I was going through myself. And I would seem to find the right words for them and it would kind of answer my own. So I really think the divine intervention kind of moves them where they're supposed to be, where they can get the help that they most need, because maybe that person has the experience within themselves. So, like you say, maybe something you need to listen to. But, I really feel this is not going to be long term. You're not going to be,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking every
canceling that. We're canceling
the out of it,
Exactly. God bless. John,
Yes.
as I come to you and you say it's your birthday, I do have a gentleman that's coming in spirit, and I'm not sure if, I'm seeing it on the mother's side, so I'm almost thinking it's grandfather on the mother's side. And I'm getting with him that he was fairly stern, fairly regimented in what he did. Everything had to be within the box that he's seen it, and that's the way it was. And now as he's in spirit, he's realizing that there's a lot of, colors outside of the box. In other words, you can color outside the lines sometimes and kind of put your own expression in there. So he's recognizing that in spirit. He said, let yourself color outside those lines if you feel like coloring outside those lines. You don't have to do exactly what everybody else wants you to do. Just be yourself and do what you want to do. He says he wishes that he had known that, but on the other side of that is that he was who he was supposed to be for those people he needed to be that for. That sounds like double talk, but it's really true. He was who he was supposed to be so the people would get what they needed from him. And so now in spirit, he's not that way. He's more flexible, and he is around you quite a bit. And, maybe it's been difficult for you kind of to break out of that regiment thing too, because you've seen better, and so you've done better, but it's been hard to break a pattern sometimes. You understand? But he's saying you're doing so well. He's so pleased with the direction that you're going. So,
Thank you.
So just keep going, and he loves you, and just know that within your heart. Okay?
Thank you. Yes.
God bless you. Okay. I know, Anne, I could talk to you by coming across the road. Okay? And we live in the same complex. I could just cross over the road, but I'm going to sort of come to you now. And what I am being impressed with, and I think this is your mother. I did not have the pleasure of meeting her, but I think it is your mother. And she is standing there and really saying that you do have to be a little bit more comfortable with yourself and know that things are coming the way they're supposed to come. And just have a bit more confidence and let it go. And you and I do know you well enough to know that you had to spend a lot of your life being the control person. You understand? And what she's saying is maybe it's time to let God take the reins a little bit. Okay? And it's hard, and I can even relate with it because I had to do that as well, even from early childhood. But sometimes it is very difficult to be able to kind of just not orchestrate it. Just don't try to orchestrate it. That's what they're saying. Just relax. It's happening. It's going to be good. And it's just confirmation, I think, what you got a few weeks ago at church. Just confirmation that it's happening. It's going to be good. So that's good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And Mike, I'm going to come to you again. It seems that 3 times that I've spoken, I seem to be attracted to come to you. And as I'm coming in, you seem to be getting more energy. Do you understand what I mean? You seem to have more energy and more calmness within, in your heart. It seems to be a bit more calm, almost as if you're able to kind of feel your own life coming back. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that this is something that was time. It was something that would take time, and you gave it time, and it has come back. And things are going to start falling in a little bit more of a normal pattern for you, and means that you'll be able to be kind of a little bit more of the jolly self. Because you've always been a very quiet man and very pleasant man, but I didn't know you in a jolly time. Do you understand what I mean? When you were maybe a little bit more outgoing and a bit more flamboyant. And they're saying you're going to have more of that uplifting bounce that you used to have, and it's coming back now. And that's because physically, mentally, and spiritually, you're feeling a lot healthier.
Last time you said I was going to go on a
Pardon me?
trip. Last time you told me I was going to go on a trip to Europe.
Yeah, and I think that's still coming, but this is all
My daughter phoned me up and said I booked you for a cruise.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for the confirmation. Oh, get on. So we'll take that. No matter you're going to be bouncing around, you're going to get on that cruise and be the, won't use the word that we used to call. I will say you're going to be the happy person on. But we used to have a word that said cavalier, but it's been changed in this generation, so we won't say that. Okay. But have a good time, because it really looks good for you. And Celia, I must come to you. Yeah, your son is around you, and he is so happy that you have just made a decision within yourself that everything's good. That everything's good. He says he just knows that everybody is the same, even though, we hide it well. We all get to a point where sometimes we get really nervous or maybe not as confident within something as we should be. But he's so happy to see that didn't last very long, and that you're, bouncing and having the confidence within yourself. And that is good. But, it's just, it's not, I don't mean confidence in not caring about yourself or anything, or thinking that you're not good or whatever, but, in the fact that things were going to go the way they have gone, and it's going to go well. But he's there, and he says, he's around the house quite a bit. And you may not realize that he's around the house as much as he is. And he's around the house, and he stands sometimes just behind you. And I don't know if he did this when he was a young man. Okay. Did he kind of come up when you were doing something, either cooking or doing something, and he would kind of peek over your shoulder and just kind of in the neck like that, just kind of peek over? Think about it, because he's telling me I'd go like this, and I just peek over and see if she would feel me. And it almost as if he would do that and say, get out of the way, get out of my kitchen, or whatever, the type of thing. It's kind of, so when you're cooking, particularly when you're cooking, he seems to be looking over and sniffing the good stuff, the smell, and which are memories for him. Yeah. He says there's one food in particular that he really liked, one dish that you used to cook that he really liked, and for some reason or other, I think it has sauces on it. Yes. Apple crumble. Is it? Yes. And he's just sniffing the memory of that. Yeah, whenever he's around the kitchen, he says, that if you make apple crumble, I guess he just inhales that smell. That was one of his absolute favorites. So that's really good. So God bless you, and God bless him. He's a sweetheart. Okay, and I think we'll go one more. Aha. Say hello.
Good morning.
Yeah. You really have a tremendous energy. And I really know, because you've been in my classes, the kind of energy that you give off in the class, that you just, it's almost like a sponge, do you understand what I mean? Like a sponge for knowledge.
Yes.
And it's like, I am so glad to be here, just give me everything that I can get. And they're saying that's good, because they're preparing you and honing you for what you're supposed to be doing. They're saying, but use it. Use it. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you are stepping up and starting to use it. Whether you just use it with friends or whatever to start with or whatever, mm-hmm. but start using that ability. You do use it in business, however. You do use it in business, and my husband Ozzy will tell you that he doesn't think that he has, any kind of what people call psychic ability, but he was one of the best businessmen when we owned stores, and before we owned stores, even when he used to deliver to stores, he could read whether a store was a good store or not, just by a feeling that he'd get from it. It's just kind of an additional thing that you have in business that serves you well. So allow that to expand in some other areas as well, because it's going to serve you really well. And it will serve others as well.
Thank you.
Okay, God bless. And thank you, everybody. on really good today, didn't it? Yeah, there we go. So we're going to have the final song, which will be God Be With You, number 8. And we will have the closing prayer just before we do that. If anybody would like to help us staff the chairs, we do have goodies. Mother Teresa brought really goodies. So, and I brought some cookies, so we got good stuff. So don't go away empty. Okay, and God be with you. And we have that will. Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless us as we go out. Let us take this wonderful feeling that we've had today and take it out and share it with everybody we meet so that they want some of what we've got and that they will then follow our lead. Amen. There we go.